Hey folks, Real Honesty with Jarmithlin. I'm Jarmithlin. This is Times in Wrestling That Pissed Me Off, Redux Part 6. I'm recording this after Part 5, so I don't know how that video is doing as of this recording. But the first 4 parts are doing very well. A few are almost at 100 views each. One is at almost about 70. And I just want to thank everybody for making this Redux edition of this series popular. You guys did very well with my previous series, which was 21 parts, and I don't know if this series is going to reach 21 parts, but we'll see, certainly. And I'm recording a bunch of shows because for pretty much from about, and I'm looking over my calendar, but March 1st, for about a week, or actually about 2 weeks, I'm going to be super busy. So besides the normal weekly reviews, I won't really be recording a whole bunch of stuff. So that's why I'm recording this now. So if any stuff with these particular subjects changes, like, as far as like anything, like where if a wrestler happens to pass on or anything, I'm going to keep my stuff as light as possible while getting angry at various creative decisions. So anyway, you guys know what I'm going to basically say here. I'm going to start with Mark Madden. One of the worst wrestling commentators of all time. Not a good heel commentator. He was atrocious. Drugged down almost any match that he was part of because he wasn't lending anything heelish like, okay, great, he's like this. He was like doing some great things or being a prick heel, but able to contribute to the content on TV. He just wasn't doing any good. And I believe Jim Cornette, and I mean quite a few people do, guy is generally a pretty shit person when it comes to charities. You can seek out that video that Jim Cornette said about Mark Madden, and you can find out. But yeah, not exactly a great person. DDP did us all a favor by apparently getting Mark Madden fired from WCW. I don't like people losing their jobs, but Madden's never really shown necessarily the aptitude or the niceness to warrant not being laughed at when anything bad happens to him, because he tends to laugh when bad things happen to people. So yeah, Mark Madden, pretty big prick, and also likes to search his name whenever he's mentioned on Twitter, even if it's not his Twitter handle, so he proceeds to throw out shade at people. So yeah, he can keep doing that, good for him, whatever, if that helps him sleep better at night. The guy's just generally a shit individual. Is he one of the worst people ever involved in wrestling? No, he's basically a footnote. And that's why he's only getting about a minute and a half here of a rant. So, yeah, just genuinely shit. Fucking Mark Madden's terrible. Anyway, now we move on to somebody else that unfortunately was featured a little too much on WCW TV. Steve Mongo McMichael, first on commentary. Mongo was fucking atrocious. Whoever came up with the decision to put him on commentary, I don't know if it was Bischoff, I don't know who it was, whoever it was, they should have been tested for drugs because it was a terrible idea. Mongo mocking Bobby Heenan or whatever, or trying to come at, Bobby Heenan with some of the worst insults ever. It was a wonder that nobody reached across the commentary table and just slapped Mongo. Now, yeah, former football player, I'm sure he had some toughness in him, but he just was shit. He was shit on commentary. I mean, he understood what athletics were, but he didn't understand anything about wrestling. He really was not good. Fortunately, he wasn't on commentary too long. It was only for like a few months. And then you had like Tenay and Zbyszko, Bobby Heenan and Bischoff and Schiavone do their switch-offs and stuff like that. And that was great because that's what we needed. We did not need Mongo McMichael on commentary. And then you get to his in-ring work. Steve Mongo McMichael is one of the worst in-ring workers ever. Now, yeah, he was a former football player. He probably didn't have a ton of years left on his body to do wrestling, but my God, I think he was with the company for 3 years? Maybe 3.5? I think his last appearance on a pay-per-view was at World War III, 1998. That atrocious 3-ring battle royal, where nothing wrong with trying to be different. But God, WCW did really bad with that. But Mongo he was a former U.S. champion. That guy, that piece of shit in the ring. And I mean, I don't know if he's a piece of shit person. I don't really care. But Steve Mongo McMichael being U.S. champion, when the U.S. title actually meant something at that point, was held by greats like even in 96, was held by, let's see, Eddie Guerrero, Flair. I want to say DDP was U.S. champion at one point. That might have been 98. The whole point is there were a lot of great U.S. champions. And people like, of course, Hacksaw Jim Duggan at a point in his career where he should not have been winning titles at least, was U.S. champion. But I would have taken Hacksaw over Steve Mongo McMichael. Because at least Hacksaw had a pedigree in the ring. At least he had like decent runs. Mongo could barely execute a tombstone pile driver without like almost looking like he's dropping people on their damn heads. Oh, the football tackle thing or the 3-point stance. Oh boy, I haven't seen that done before. Mongo was just shit. Mongo was just shit in the ring. And I can't think of one match that he did on pay-per-view or otherwise that really warranted him getting any kind of push. I mean, him and Kevin Green were like a team, and then they were rivals. And I think Mongo even faced off against NFL great Reggie White on a pay-per-view, and that match went on about 4 years. We didn't need that to go on that long. But the feud of Mongo had with Kevin Green I respected because at least Green seemed to apply energy and passion to it. I don't know why Mongo was ever over with the crowds. I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe the fans appreciate him, cool, whatever. I don't get it because Mongo wasn't any good. Mongo was, honest to God, the shits. He just wasn't good in the ring at all. Just really wasn't. And now we move on to Sonny. I ranted about Sonny before. I will probably rant about Sonny in the future. But, of course, I've talked about various stuff like Sonny being put through rehab. And, hey, you know what? Maybe Sonny is clean and stuff like that. Fine. Good. Seriously, drug addiction, alcohol addiction can't be easy to kick. Jake Roberts, Scott Hall, and various others, Jeff Jarrett, various others are proof of that. Maybe to a lesser degree, Jeff Jarrett, even though he was put through WWE-sponsored rehab recently. But Sonny got a lot of stuff in the wrestling business that she shouldn't have. She was pretty damn over. Yeah, Sable ended up taking her spot, which I didn't necessarily agree with, because even though Sonny was a cunt, at least she, as Cornez put, was upfront about it. And Sonny appreciated the wrestling business, actually knew about it, and studied up on it, and did well with that. Sable didn't. I already ranted about Sable before. I ranted about Sable in the first part of this show, or in the first part of this series. But Sonny just... She then has taken a task ranting on women, in particular when she ranted on Bayley and talking about her looks without getting a ton of plastic surgery. Well, Sonny, no amount of plastic surgery is going to ever fix how you fucking look. It's never going to do it. You wasted your body, you wasted the best of your years, and now the only people that want to watch you on Skype are the same lonely, pathetic people that are just as empty inside as you are. And even though I'm pretty certain that probably with as many that you've had put in you, it's probably like flying a 747 into the Grand Canyon. Meaning that, I don't know, pretty damn well. I wouldn't recommend flying a plane into the Grand Canyon, by the way. But Sonny is just one of the most rotten individuals that has been part of the wrestling business. Does that mean that she was not treated badly in her first run? Probably. There was a lot of ribbing going back on him, maybe back then. And maybe a lot of it went too far. But then you also have what Sonny said about Candice LeRae. Candice LeRae is too ugly to be part of the main roster. Candice LeRae, who on her worst day looked better than Sonny did on her best day. And I'm sorry, I never got it with Sonny. I never got why people found Sonny attractive. Not knocking you guys if that's how you feel. I just never got it. Sonny is just pretty much a disgusting pile of rotten meat. That's what she is. Sonny doesn't respect women that were in the wrestling business. Oh, no one respects me or this kind of stuff. Or, these women owe stuff to me. These women don't owe you shit, Sonny. Because you haven't shown the respect. The reason people don't respect you is because you haven't bothered to show respect to various people. And does that mean that fans need to tell her to F off, kill herself, this kind of stuff? No. They probably should tell her, hey, you might want to get help, or get some glasses, and if you're going to judge how Bailey and Candace look, Candace, who is beautiful, and happily married to Johnny Gargano, and Bailey, who is beautiful. And I'm sorry, I do think Bailey is. It's all about personal preference. But being that mean-spirited to the point where, oh, you're going to say that some women are too ugly for the main roster. Well, Sonny, see, no one would have brought you back in the first place to be inducted in WWE Hall of Fame if they knew this is how you were going to act. And I'm sorry, but Sonny, just one of the nastiest, ugliest people that I've seen in wrestling. She has proven just how ugly inside she is. Now, are we all perfect? No, I'm not perfect. I put up a video recently talking about how I'm not perfect and how I wasn't perfect in my past. And I will owe up to that. But Sonny has shown just a blatant lack of respect for a lot of the current women. And it's probably because she realizes, oh wait, I used to be looked at as beautiful and now I'm a pile of rotting meat. And that's what she looks like. And that's why a lot of people don't really respect Sonny anymore. And if you do, fine, whatever. I'm not going to tell you otherwise. And then we move on to the Doctor Heiny segment that had JR. It was about JR's colonoscopy. And it was a JR dummy where Vince McMahon was jackhammering JR's ass to try, and not genetic jackhammering his ass, but pulling stuff out of his ass. And then it turned out that JR had his head up his ass the whole time. I didn't have a problem with the fact that this was trying to be comedic, but the problem is it went on way, way too long. I mean, way too long. Like, this took place shortly after the Raw Homecoming, when they went back to USA, because JR needed colon surgery. And fortunately, JR was okay. I think JR even said on a Legends of Wrestling roundtable that people asked how JR saw about, felt about that. And JR said, well, he did make sure I wasn't terminally ill with cancer before he did it, so at least that was nice of him. And Vince does allow himself to be made fun of plenty, like in the Shawn Michaels feud that followed a few months after this. But the Dr. Heiny thing was just it was too long. It was unnecessary. It really wasn't that funny. I mean, at first, okay, haha, and after about 3-4 times, you're like, okay, let's move on from this. This is pretty shit. Let's move on from this, Vince. And he didn't really move on from this. It was a pretty damn atrocious thing. It was just really, really bad. Like really, really, really fucking bad. So it was just one of those things where it's only going to get a brief mention, but it was really, 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 really shit. And by the way, in case you guys wonder why maybe I look over here just briefly, my window's over there and we're getting snow and I'm trying to make sure, okay, the roads are okay for me to drive to work tomorrow. So that's why maybe you might notice I peek over there occasionally. But anyway, yeah, the Dr. Heiny segment was pretty rubbish. And now we move on to the final topic. The August 1 warning that Impact Wrestling did. And this is back when TNA Impact Wrestling was on Spike. 2013 was a bit of a trying year because they were not drawing as big a crowd as they wanted. Hogan left soon after this because his 4-year contract was up. And a lot of people left. I mean, AJ left soon after. Good job there, Dixie, losing him. I know Dixie ain't in charge of Impact anymore, but that's pretty stupid. So, the August 1 warning, it was his warning like, somebody's going to come and be an authority figure or be the authority and this kind of stuff. And this was back when Spike was having some Bellator fighters be on Impact Wrestling as a way to spice up Bellator's ratings and stuff like that and get some crossover appeal. That's why Rampage Jackson was there, but that's also why King Mo was there. And King Mo, I don't know what the fuck King Mo is, but he's not any good, I know that much. But the August 1 warning thing turned out, you're like thinking, okay, it's going to be this cool wrestler, and whatever, and it's Tito Ortiz. And Tito Ortiz, for his time, was a great fighter. But the crowd didn't give 2 shits when Tito Ortiz appeared. And I remember there was this weird-ass moron troll. I just remember that he was like attacking everybody because because they knocked Tito Ortiz. I don't have any issue with MMA fighters coming to wrestling. You know, MMA fighters, boxers, whatever, this kind of stuff, because a lot of them respect the business. Ken Shamrock's one of the biggest success stories. People can say, oh, Brock Lesnar. I'm like, well, Brock Lesnar started in wrestling, then went to UFC, and then came back to wrestling. Tito Ortiz, though, had roots in Impact Wrestling. He made a few appearances in 2005, and I think made a couple appearances after that, but I know made an appearance at the Hard Justice 05 when Styles beat Jarrett, and then at Bound for Glory 2005 when Rhino beat Jarrett. A lot of times it's Jarrett being the world champion and getting beat. But the August 1 Warning thing, everything fell flat. Like, no one fucking cared. People, like, fans were just sitting on their hands. I'm watching the damn thing and I'm just like, really? I mean, whether that was an Impact thing or a Spike TV deal, and they wanted to do that, I'm just watching like, what the fuck? Seriously? This is what you're doing? This is absolute fucking bullshit. 100% bullshit. And it made Impact seem second rate. And Tito, I think it was a hype of fight between Tito and Rampage. Something like that. I mean, I don't quite remember that part. I don't remember. But I remember that debut or return, actually, technically, since Tito had been in Impact before. But I'm watching, I'm just like, this is the worst. I mean, this is the absolute worst. I mean, it would have been bad if WWE did it, by the way. I just want to clarify that. The fact that Impact, kind of on its last legs of this run, did that, made it seem second rate. And it didn't help anybody. Spike didn't get a boost to Bellator. Impact's ratings continued to kind of falter and everything, especially after Hogan and Styles and various other people left. But mainly Styles. I don't think Hogan had a ton of spice to it. This was really, really bad. This is really, really shitty. So anyway, that's where I'm going to leave that off. So do you agree, do you disagree with what I said? What do you think of the series so far? Like, share, comment, subscribe. Twitter link in the description. Spend real honesty with Jar Mitlin. I'm Jar Mitlin. I will see you soon.